Welcome back, everybody. We are towards the end, and this is our last guest. Like I said, the charter pilot area. Yes, so our moderator is Lati, with our guest speaker as Khumuditwe Kwele. And yeah, I can't wait to hear about this. Over to you, Lati. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kiliwe. And we are back. Hi, Rehumuditwe. Are you with us?
I am with you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Yes, I can hear you. Ooh,
Okay.
I can see the content creator in you already. You look beautiful. I love the face beat.
Thank you so much.
So Rehomoditswe. Okay, from being a pilot, content creator, aviation influencer. So when I read your biography, something stood out. You literally did your com within 18 months or less. How did you do that?
My com in 15 months.
Yes.
Determination. I tell you, it's determination all around. I was determined because I knew what I was there for. I went to 43A school. That's why I'm actually wearing my 43 shirt, if you can see.
Ooh, yes.
I was sponsored, and knowing that, you know what, somebody else is paying for me, and this is my dream, and this is what I love. I claim to have a passion for it. So if I have a passion for it, I need to be determined that I need to work hard to get the license. So it was really determination.
Okay, so where did the passion start?
Okay.
When?
The passion started when I was 13 years of age. So I was at home during public holidays. You know that June public holiday, 3 weeks at home doing nothing. What do you do at home? I was doing nothing, watching movies all day long. And so my dad bought a computer game, Microsoft Flight Simulator. And he was like, hey, why don't you try this? Because I've always been like that girl who loves to play games, who tomboy in me, played Need for Speed, Tomb Raider. I've always been adventurous. So then my dad was like, okay, here's a game. Why don't you try it out? I was like, okay, sure. How it's actually flying planes. You know, Microsoft Flight Simulator, you select any aircraft you want and you fly. And that's when I was like, okay, this is fun, this is nice. And then in grade 9, we had to select subjects. And I was like, okay, what do I actually want to be when I grow up? Do I want to be an interior designer, architecture, you know, do I want to go into that? And I didn't really know. And I was like, oh, I've been playing this game for quite some time. Why don't I actually become a pilot? It was also actually what actually solidified it was when SABC News, there was a segment where they said that there's a shortage of female pilots in South Africa. And I was like, oh, okay, I've been playing this game all along. Why don't I just do it? So that's when it became real. And when I first got onto an aircraft, literally I was like, yeah, this is my life. This is what I want to do. I want to fly these aircrafts, these Boeing aircrafts. I do.
Yeah, oh, okay, nice. So you know how a lot of people are mostly exposed to just airlines, and can you at least explain to us charter, like how is it different to other things, and how did you get in? I mean, it's difficult getting a job in aviation, especially if you don't have the hours.
Yeah, definitely. It is very difficult. I mean, when I finished school, I actually went back and I worked at my company thinking that I would be part of the flight crew, but I wasn't. I worked as ground staff. So I worked as a ground hostess as well as an ops, so in operations. So I would help the pilots basically if they're going on a flight, you need to basically plan their flight plan for them. You need to basically go to the aircraft, you check the documents if there's enough, they've got the correct documents, if the documents haven't expired. You have to literally do the groundwork and fill up a bar box. So the bar box would have the drinks, check that there's snacks. So here I am, I've got my com thinking that, no, I'm going to go straight into an aircraft. No, you have to start from the bottom. And that's what I did. And when I was also a ground hostess, the ground hostess meant that I am there even on weekends, even on public holidays, I'm at work. And you're waiting for an aircraft to fly in. So that's when basically I was introduced to the charter industry. So charter means that the guy has money and he wants to fly whenever he wants to fly. So, and I mean, if we had aircraft, that's what we would do, right? We would want to fly whatever time we want to fly.
Of course.
So unfortunately, being a ground hostess at that time, if a flight came in at about 12 a.m. in the morning, you have to be there in the morning, go to work, and it's cold, it was winter, you would, dress up, wait for passengers, and you basically guide them through customs and immigrations. You are basically making their life easier. You're helping them. You're like their concierge throughout their journey to make them more comfortable. So that's when you realize that, okay, charter flying is more about flying at different times. You don't have a set schedule with charter, and you don't have a set schedule, and you fly different kinds of aircraft. Instead of only the big aircrafts, you fly the smaller ones. Like my aircraft is a Pilatus PC-12 as well as the King Air 200. So those are considered light aircrafts. It can seat about 8 passengers on board and 8 to 9 passengers on board, depending if you have 2 crew or not. And then it's just more private. I mean, if you go to an airline, airline is the dream. So sometimes you start with charter because that's the stepping stone to get to airline. Because also when you are done with school, with air school, you come out with 200 hours. So when you try and apply to companies, they look at you and they're like, but you only have 200 hours logged in. But the most important thing as well to consider is that one thing I've learned along the way is that when you have an aircraft, you obviously have to have an insurance on the aircraft, which means that the insurance companies look at the pilot and sees, okay, you only have a certain amount of hours. Is it a high risk for you to be able to fly for this big aircraft? Is it going to cost more money? So it's the same. Yeah. So now they look at you and they're like, okay, you do not have enough hours now. So go and find or go and gain hours at a smaller aircraft so that, it's not expensive for you or for the company to pay you in the event of an accident. So that's how I got into charter, literally by the grace of God, being in the environment. So how I've always encouraged everyone is that even though you do not get a job immediately after you finish school, what you need to do is stay within the environment. So even if it means that you are going backwards and you're going to become not air hostess, a ground hostess, or working in operations, you are within the environment. You get to interact with other pilots and you get to learn more and you get to ask them questions, and your mind becomes more open because all you knew was air school. And in air school, we all encourage each other that, oh, one day we're going to be this, we're going to do that. And then you have these big dreams, but you kind of have to become humbled enough to know that, what, this is actually the true journey to becoming a pilot. So that's when I actually met one of the pilots that I work with, my colleague, and he told me that there is his company, which is the one that I work for now, they are looking for pilots right now, and that's how I eventually applied for them. This is literally 2 years after I had finished my com. So 2 years of not flying. I then applied for my job and I finally got my dream job, which is flying.
Wow, that is amazing. So you were not deterred by being on the ground now, helping out pilots, people like you got your comm and all of that and the hours, but you still have to work at flight ops.
Yeah, no, of course it's going to shatter you. It's going to shatter your heart. You're going to be devastated that, oh, Kanti, I trained to be a pilot. I spent so much time, so many hours, 14 exams, here I am thinking I'm going to get a job, but no. Yes, you are definitely discouraged, but you have to understand your goals, and you have to have a game plan. If you don't want to be a air host, a ground hostess, or working in ops, you can then decide to maybe go through the route of going overseas. Well, during that time, back in the day, before COVID, it was so much easier for you to say, okay, I'm going to go and work maybe in Botswana. I think Wilderness Air is the airline.
Yeah.
Work in
Bush
Botswana.
flying,
Yes,
other
bush
things,
flying. Go and gain your hours in bush flying, or go gain your hours contract flying in Iran or Iraq. If you want to really take that risk, if you feel like you are strong enough to be able to be living with just males, being a female, having the thought of, okay, I'm going to go move across the world. You're going to be living with males, a whole bunch of males. Whereby at 43, at least I had a section to myself. Those kind of things that you have to think about. What are the sacrifices are you willing to make to be able to get to flying? So, or there was another option. I could have gone maybe to Cathay Pacific, back in the day, that was an option, but I didn't. I decided to just wait it out, hoping that no, South Africa is where I want to gain my hours. Because also there's so many challenges for pilots in South Africa, because we have an EASA license, ICAO license. If you want to fly in Europe, you need an EASA license. If you want to fly in the US, you need a FAA license. So there's so many other challenges. So you kind of have to look at your options and say, you know what, if I stay, maybe if I work at a certain company and I stay there for a few hours, and obviously you talk to your managers and say, are you able to offer me a job? Maybe sometimes they don't even pay you for the job. Sometimes you have to understand that they will not pay you for that job, or they'll pay you very low, even though you have a pilot's license. Because some of us consider pilot's license equivalent to like a degree, because we spend so many hours and so much but other industries don't actually view it like that. So you have to maybe have a conversation with the manager and say that if I work for you for this long doing this job, are you able maybe to reimburse me with, instead of money, would you reimburse me with hours, with maybe flying you maybe at night, gaining night hours, guys? Very important for me. It's night hours, gain your night hours, so that it's not difficult to get the ATPL.
Okay, so I have a question here from Kanaindo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And the question is, what's the most challenging thing about being a charter pilot?
Having an inconsistent schedule. That is very challenging, because you can fly anytime. Specifically with my company, there is no standby time. You are literally on standby every single day. If you're not booked out for a flight, you are on standby. So technically, if they call me out today, right now, in this point, you have to go. So I think not having a set schedule, or not, because you can't plan your whole month. You've got weddings, you've got birthdays, you've got so many things, and you can't plan for those. You have to literally book in leave if you really want to go somewhere. And so not having a set schedule is the most challenging for me.
Kanando, I hope your question was answered. And then we have another one. Cody is asking, why stay in the African continent? Or what's the motivation?
At that time, I think I wasn't ready. I think I was being fearful of, oh my gosh, if I go out of the country, what am I going to encounter? So I think it's not knowing. But definitely, if the opportunity arises, I will not say no to that. So in the past, it was a no, but currently it's a yes.
Oh, okay. Cody, I hope you got that. And yes, we're aviation and everything. So the content creator, influencer. So what do you share with other people? And at the end, you can just give us your handles, Instagram, Twitter, and so that people can follow. Okay. So what do you share?
Okay, I've got two separate platforms. I've got the platform with my husband, which is Rekodise. In that content, it's more marriage, relationship,
Okay.
content-based content, lifestyle content. And with
Mm,
my personal one is Proxima Aurora. That
okay.
one is more aviation based as much as I can. I've been slacking lately, but I'm actually starting a YouTube channel soon where I'll
Okay.
be talking more aviation content. So I will
All
post
right.
it on my personal, on Proxima Aurora as soon as that is up and running.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So why the influencer? What's the motivation behind it? Is it
It's because
because okay, yes.
I think it's because I get a lot of questions, a lot of DMs from future aviators. And unfortunately, because of my not structured schedule, I'm unable to answer a lot of DMs. I'm unable to attend to everybody because honestly, I do not like to type. I am a voice note or call kind of person. It's either
Yeah.
call or voice note because if I have to text, I don't have that much time. So I thought of okay, being able to help more vocally. That's why I would like to do more videos to be able to help with all the questions that I get asked because I understand people have a lot of questions with regards to the aviation industry. So I'm trying to do my best in helping, just like you guys are doing.
Thank you so much. We are honored, and so the time is not on our side. You
No
can
problem.
just share the handles, whether is it Instagram, Twitter,
It's Instagram and YouTube.
and
Should I write it in
YouTube.
the chat?
Yes, you can write it in the chat so that anybody who wants to follow, they can gladly do that and have all the information. Thank you so much. And
Okay.
back to Kiliwe. Oh,
Thank
there's
you.
last question. Wait,
Yes.
Okay.
there's this. Somebody's still typing the question.
Okay.
Okay. How do you balance marriage and work?
That one is a very interesting question. It's a lot of balancing. I won't lie. It's because you do understand that you have a role to play as a wife. So it's trying to balance being a wife, being a pilot, being a content creator. It's literally just trying to juggle everything at the same time. It is hard. There are hard times, but that's why you have a partner. I mean, I've dated my husband for 10 years and we've only married for 2 years. And the whole reason why you decide to get married or I decided to get married is so that he can be my anchor and support. So it's just so that he can carry the load with me because it is a lot. Being a wife or a pilot is not easy, but you can't look at the difficulties and say that no, this is what life is about. So just plan properly. Planning is very important, and yeah, just scheduling things and scheduling fun times all the time. There has to be fun in
Wow,
marriage.
okay.
Marriage is fun, guys. You basically married your best friend and you just keeping
Yeah.
things alive every single day, trying new things. Don't forget to date. So don't stop dating in marriage. That is my number one goal.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, I'm also inspired to get married soon. Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're
Kiliwe,
welcome.
it's back to you now. And
Thank you. I actually have
yes,
two more questions for Rejo.
Yes.
Um, you said you fly a King Air 200 and what else?
A PC-12, Pilates PC-12.
Sorry?
A Pilates PC-12.
Okay, okay. Also, what you seem very confident and I kind of like it. You really do sound confident. You are,
Thank
right?
you. Thank you so
And
much. I
how
try.
you okay, but how did you like do it? Because I personally would say I need to constantly remind myself that be confident, you're a learner, be gentle with yourself, don't put pressure on yourself. You're learning, you know. So how did you do that?
Sure. Thank you for that compliment. Because I think maybe I come from that as well. I've never really been confident when I was younger. I've got social anxiety, to be honest. So where does the confidence come from? I think when you were asking me the question, what I thought about is that why are you confident? What is the reason why you become? Because I don't consciously tell myself to be confident. I just do what I need to do. So I think that's maybe where the confidence comes from. So maybe if you're saying why how do you get your confidence? Like what is motivating you to do what you're doing? You need to focus more on that. When the moment you've got a goal and you want to get to your goal, you kind of the confidence gradually comes out. So that's what I would say. That's what I'm saying. It's a very broad question because it all depends on at what aspect are you looking at it. You can't look at it from a person. You can't say I'm confident because I need to impress someone. You need to be confident because you know that I need to do something for myself. And the moment you do that, you always make yourself happy. You won't be dependent on other people's comments or approval. You always say, no, but I did this for myself and that made me happy. So the confidence really is everybody's confident. You just have to, because I get shy when I'm around other people. I get really awkward. So it's like you know what you're going for. So the confidence comes from within.
Wow. Thank you very much. And you have a beautiful smile as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're actually over time, but okay, thank you, Rejo. Thank you, Lati.
You're welcome. Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Quincy is a great ATC. That's what I wanted to say. She rooted me all the time, the best routings.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. Yeah, ATC is a great job, by the way. Like really, if you are considering not being a pilot, be an ATC.
I agree.
Thank you.
Agree.
Thank you.
You're welcome.